Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to Blue Vale here on City Skylines. Last time out then, we built this Vermont Hills with our bus rapid transit running straight through the middle of it. I thought there was a building in the way there, but there was not. It's working quite well. I'm quite happy with this, to be honest. We're transporting lots and lots of people around the city now using these buses. We've got these cool bus stop looking shelter, almost like metro station type shelters here, with lots of people using them, waiting in them, people getting on and off the buses. It's very exciting to see. You can see there was a turnover of 60 passengers on that last stop. We've got the elevated sections as well. I'm just being really nosy here. I want to see how many people get on and off at this stop here as well. And 40. I was looking at the wrong number on the other one. There we go. I love the 147 as well. The bus hubs, particularly the one here in Blue Shores and the one over here at the Yard South, very, very popular. We could be about to see a massive turnover of people on this one here as well. Yeah, look at that. 34 people got off. Some got on as well. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with how it's looking. But we're not going to rest on our laurels just yet. The population is still quite lacking. Only 62,000 people living here. We've got lots of industries still complaining, and lots of offices and commercials still complaining that there aren't enough workers. So, in fact, there's 124 buildings there complaining not enough workers, and we've got abandoned buildings as well because of it. So we need to start working hard to get more residential. Now, we have a choice. There's this area here. There's this area here, there's even this little area here, and then there's this one over here as well. This one here, I believe, is the university campus. I should always have the map open, actually, when I'm doing this. Let's see if I can find it. Blue Vale. Takes a while sometimes to load, which is really inconvenient, especially when I'm recording like this. My plan, anyway, slight spoiler alert, is to fill all of this area here with residential today. And we're going to turn the city centre into an actual city centre. Now, this Vermont Hills Park and Ride, we're going to leave as is. This area here, I feel like something needs to go in here, but I'm not quite sure what. It's one of those things. Let me just load up the plan. So yeah, the university goes here. This area here is actually empty still. But the airport is all of this area, which we are going to come to in the not too distant future. And this area here, there is now the in fact, no, not this area here, sorry, this area here is earmarked for something, but I can't remember what, which is good. But I think it's residential, so we're going to turn this into a residential area. Might even do that today as well. We're also going to rip out the current approach here to Vale Park, and we're going to rebuild it, including putting the railway up here with a railway station, which I think is the left-hand track, is the local one. The other thing I wanted to do at some point, it's probably not going to be today, but you can see I've got this like underground bus lane here. I want to turn the center of this square here into the bus station here at the Yards North, move this ferry terminal, get rid of it completely and replace it with a normal ferry terminal. As for the tram, I don't know where that's going to move to. I think it might just go onto a straight line in this general direction. But the plan would be to reroute most, if not all, of the roads around this little area. Turn this square here into a proper hub. Maybe even here have this road continue this way and cross, probably turn that direction and turn into a main road that then joins up towards the airport. And turn this into a proper transport hub and have this as one of the central hubs of the city, which will mean rebuilding the Yards railway station yet again. And there may even be a possibility of linking up these two routes that we've got coming in and out of the city right now. But more on that in the future when it actually happens. Right now, though, I just want to get cracking with laying down some streets, ready to start populating. Oh, God. Lag in this game sometimes as well, my goodness. There is an FPS booster, I believe, so I might have to look at getting that just to get the game running a bit smoother, particularly as we're going to increase the population even more in today's episode, and maybe even more in the future. So that's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. But yeah, we're going to populate this area. It's not suburbs. This is going to be dense residential. But we're going to have things like hospitals, fire stations, schools, police stations, libraries, parks, you name it. All in this area as well. So there's quite a lot to be getting on with. This hospital here, for example, something else I want to do actually might just turn this into a proper roundabout. Take this track here and cut it right back. Turn this into another like more square shaped roundabout and actually have the street go off this direction as well. That's not a bad idea. And then maybe have it come and loop underneath and join up over here. There's a possibility. We'll see. But yeah, getting all this residentialized is going to be the plan, with a railway station along here as well. I was debating actually building a new railway station here at Belmont Hills and having the express tracks sort of tunnel underneath it. But I couldn't really find a double track station that I was happy with. It would probably be more over this way with the way it all goes. And I was looking, so you've got the bypass tracks here. You've got, you know, ones like this, the old market station, which could feasibly work. But there is this one actually, Ground Jewel Island Platform Train Station. Maybe if I built this and was clever with the approach tracks, this could work. I don't know where I'd build this just to have a look. Maybe there. It's an option. I think the parking in front is actually a bit of an inconvenience. And then you've got, you know, the elevated dual one here as well. And then you've got drive-throughs. There are very few that have just 2 platforms. It's kind of annoying. That one's got 2 lots, but it's a terminus. So yeah. Anyway, yes, I've talked enough. Let's get started on this residential area, shall we? And then we'll come back in a little bit and we'll start rearranging. Because again, the plan is to have all of this area, the rest of this peninsula basically, built up with residential. And then once that's done, we'll start talking about rerouting things and all that kind of stuff. Let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, so it's coming along nicely. We've got just a little bit to go. I'm looking at some of these road layouts, and especially like here. I feel like we could maybe have something that loops around this way. Whoops. Or at least, you know, another street that comes down here. Yeah, that'll probably work better. And then over here, I was tempted to put some streets across here, but I kind of like this little system that we've got. I really like the way that this is now a split lane as well. I do need to, in fact, link these up, except, yeah. I don't like the way it does that. That does annoy me a little bit. But there we go. So there's going to be a little complication that from here you can only go into the left-hand lane, which means you might have to loop around a fair amount to get to where it is you need to go, particularly as the way this works as well. So actually, the more I look at that, the more I don't like that at all. So I'm tempted to do this, but definitely put a giveaway on that one. There we go. This will have lights set up at some point too. But otherwise, yeah, it's all coming together nicely. I really like this this new raised road coming out of here as well. We will have some more streets on this side being built shortly. I have to try and sort those out. And I need to decide where I'm going to put the utility buildings, which is probably going to be the next part of this. Actually, no, the next part of this is going to be the railway station. Because right now, I think we need to get the railway more this way. And then the station itself is going to be a tricky one. Basically, let's get rid of these wind farms, which I might rebuild actually inside the park. If I can do that. It's a shame that I've not gone on the workshop actually and looked for some more wind turbines, because I think having some of these around, estimated production of only 4. It's up here where the big bucks were, as it were. But then getting the power over to the gate is going to be a bit of a nightmare. So I could do one there for 7. I could do one there for 8. So that's 2. I feel like I could put a couple up here as well. There's one there for 5, one there for 5, one there for 5. And that does actually link up a fair amount of this. So if I did this and then just ran this one along the park boundary, like so. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I've got to try and build the station and all of that stuff without now demolishing the cable car, which is doable, very much doable. The railway station I definitely want, probably even on this road, or have another road that loops round, and then it'll access the housing estate over here as well. I am going to limit the kind of vehicles that can use the road here, just to make sure that we are getting the right types of traffic flow, because I think that's going to be beneficial. And yeah, not really much else to say. Otherwise, let's get on with it. Okay, railway station is done. It's a little bit further away from the park than I wanted. Oops. Again, game is really getting me with the little lag spikes here. I've got some work to do here as well, just to fix the, I guess it's a roundabout that I've built here now. If I did something like that there, and then something similar-ish on this side. That kind of works. This road here, I'm just going to artificially lengthen. Like so. Just so that there is actually something left over here once I've finished working on this. Yeah, I think if I do it like that, and then straighten it like this. So it's a bit crazy how this is going to work, but essentially this one here is going to be the one that loops around. You're going to join that and that. You're going to join that and that. And then over here it's something similar. So you're going to branch off. You're going to go round like that, and this one's going to join like so. And then of course giveaway signs there and there. Whoops. Yeah, like this. And then I suppose I should also do the lane arrows for this as well. So you're going to go there, and then you're also going to go there and there. Now, I had a horrible feeling this would happen. If I can just move you. There we go. Hopefully this will remain functional, because I think I did this before and it messed things up on a previous map, but it looks like things are still okay here, which is fine. Happy with that. Okay, next on the list, also got to slope this junction, which it already has been. Good. It's whether or not it's sloped it in the right direction, which I'm going to guess. Oh, it has. Excellent. The gradient here is quite steep, but like I said, it's not going to be used by everything. In fact, if I do that now, so for a start, cars, no. Goods vehicles, no. Everything else, buses, taxis, I'm pretty happy with them coming up here. We might even put a bus stop right outside the park, so that'd be cool. We have got a crematorium here as well. Read into that what you will. Anyway, we are here. We've got all of this bit done. Now there's a big gap down here still. I have no idea what to fill it with. That will probably come in the future. It may even just be a spur road that comes down from there. And possibly, actually the more I look at it, the more I think a road that hops up and over this is a good idea. So I'm just going to do that as well. I'll take that one out there to remind me. I'm also tempted today to fill this area too. And we're going to have a road that branches off here, comes down and around, and it's going to join either there or over here, possibly to this one in fact, and then we'll have another main road that comes down and fills the gap. And if we have this road here follow the perimeter, then it will branch off here to this road to the park as well, and that will be the main road in and out of the park for cars. I think that'll be the better way of doing it. So I'm probably going to just lay down some more roads. Okay, so here's where we are now. There are still quite a few gaps in all of this. For example, this road here will remain elevated now until it gets to over here. So this main road here will pass underneath. This main road will pass underneath. Some of these streets here will either pass underneath or they'll have little footpaths going through between the streets here and equivalent streets on this side. There will be a main road that runs along here, possibly connecting up to this side here too. I do still like the idea of having a road that comes over this way as well. It might be from here though, and it'll bridge across and into this neighborhood, which I think is just going to be residential still. But we will see. Obviously the light rail is going to come this way as well, so we'll have to integrate that. I have also looked at the possibility of, from here, having a BRT line. So it will move this... Is it a high school? Yeah. We'll move the high school, possibly this way, and it will skirt this way along the main road here, and then at some point around this area, it'll go over the railway, and then it'll swing round underneath here, and it'll run alongside here with a stop at the station, which may even be along this street here, and then it'll continue either onto the roads and run as a bus line, conventional bus line, or it will continue as a BRT and then run up through these neighborhoods here. And then the one from this way will run this way. And then you kind of have like a, I'm pointing with my fingers as if you can see me, but you'll have a two-prong. So one goes this way to the airport, one goes this way towards whatever we end up building up here, which will probably be like a cruise terminal or something. So long as we can get cruise ships up the river here, of course. And the more I look at it, oh my god, I can't believe I was happy with this when I built it. Work needed on some of these. I have ideas on how to fix this. It's just being able to do it. It involves like, yeah, quite a lot of stuff. It might involve, you know, cross-threading some of these bridges. It's doable, very much doable. Right, before we can add in the zoning here, there's just one more important thing we need to do, which is utilities. So I'm going to add the water pipes to this area. Might have to add some new pumps and things like that as well. And then we'll get to zoning. Okay, everyone, that is all the utilities done. You'll see as well, I've also started lifting the road here. In fact, finished lifting the road here. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the fact, you know, this road's going to get under here perfectly. And then this one might even cross the river as well. This one here, a little annoying, but it lines up perfectly there with the support column. So I do have a slight solution to that, which is to take this one here and deviate it slightly so that we curve around and underneath like this. Yeah, and then this one probably won't cross over the river in this direction because I think the river's a little wide there, although it is a little wide here as well. But I think instead this one will come around and down, and I think this area here might qualify as a nice little park area as well. With the river running through it, I think it will look quite nice. We might even, because I would like to put a city zoo somewhere, and I haven't really decided where yet. So that could end up being a good candidate for that. Who knows? Right, very last thing for this episode then. We need to turn these into districts. I'm going to turn it into 2 districts. I'm just going to fill this one like so. Just to get a name. There we go. Vermont Heights. That's not the worst. That's not the worst. And it is going to encompass some, if not all, of the park entrance here as well. I think Vermont Heights is actually going to go up to the water's edge here. and then down this way, and it's just gonna touch the edge of the yards. Now, I really like the fact that the yards is now part of a city centre. You know, it's not just sitting on its own. Kind of on the outskirts, really. It is now part of something a little bit more impressive, a little bit better, which I think is for the best. I'm going to shrink the pedestrianised area here as well, just to make it work a little bit better with the space that we've got. And I'm also going to make this roundabout here part of Vermont Heights, not the yards, because I think that will work well too, and that includes this main road here. So I do need to make sure that for this road here is part of the yards, and the main road next to it is part of Vermont Heights, which is going to be a bit tricky. It's going to be sometimes where it sort of jumps in, but you know, it could be worse. There we go. Now, what's this area? That's part of Belmont Hills, yeah. So I might just skirt this around the edge of it like this. As long as they're sort of in a district. I think the lines here do get a little bit blurry in places, but that's fine. Could be worse. I think this will cover the area quite well. So we'll get the big brush out now, and we'll just cover the track here as well. It does bleed into the park a little bit too, but again, that's not the worst. And then this area over here is going to be its own district. So we're just going to paint very crudely right now what this one's going to look like, and it's going to come down like this. It's actually going to cover all of the landmass here, and we'll assign it its name in just a second. So there will probably be a railway station here of some description as well. I do think with the rail especially, I've seen quite a lot of cities recently where the rail stations are positioned relatively close together. Not massively close together, but relatively. And I think actually that's not a bad idea. So that's something that I may look to do here in the city as well. Maybe one per district. Elk Square. I'm not a fan of that one. Can you re-roll the name? Is that something you can do? No. I don't even like the elk bit. Maybe like Elm Grove or something like that. A little bit better. For policies then, we're going to go with the usual ones. Recycling. Recycle plastic. I know it adds to the money, but yeah. And then city planning. Heavy traffic ban. Encourage biking, but not on the sidewalks. This area might be a bit more old towny and a bit more NIMBY as well. I kind of like the sound of that. Vermont Heights, though, heavy traffic ban, encourage biking but not on the sidewalks. Tax, I couldn't really care less about that right now. That might end up being a citywide thing. Smoking ban, definitely. Parks and Rec, definitely. And then recycle plastic, prefer parks. Because we don't actually have any other, like we don't have monuments here. Right. One more thing then. I did say we'd do the zoning in a second, but there is one more thing, which is, I mean, first of all, over here, I completely forgot to set this up. So you are like this. You are like this. Whoops. You go straight on like this. Yeah, this is going to look weird right now, so we're going to have to do some node controller to get this looking a little bit nicer too. But you get the idea. It's there. Those ones like this. These ones like this. But yeah, the thing I need to do is set up where the schools are going to go, where the hospitals are going to go, where the fire stations are going to go. Because I imagine when the traffic builds up as well, that's going to be very, very important that we make sure that, you know, people can get to school, people can get to work, all that good stuff. I really am wasting time doing this when I could be doing the other stuff. But yeah, this has turned into, it feels like a long episode, but it also feels like I've got loads done. So I'm quite happy. You know, believe me, I'm not complaining. Also, I've done all that, and I'm about to mess it up because I'm going to remove this middle node here. Like that, and I'm probably going to have to redo half these lines again. Yep. Very annoying that it does do that, but again, I guess it could be worse. I'm just going to do, come on, there we go, like that. And then same on this side, where you are straight on, and you are split like that. Okay. I'll fix those nodes in a minute. Right, so I reckon a couple of fire stations in this area. Definitely at least one big one here on this main road. Same with police. Probably one on this end, one down here, one in the middle here. Hospitals. I think we can go a little bit smaller with the hospitals because we have got the big one here. Which I'm going to rename. Just call it Vermont Hospital. There we go. And then this one, actually, it's called Vale Park, but I'm going to rename it Vermont Park. Which, you know, Vermont's a state in the US, but I imagine it's named after something or someone. But yeah, I'm going to go place some utility build. Well, what are they called? What would you call these? Oh, just healthcare, police, and fire and all that stuff, buildings and schools and stuff like that, and then we'll get to zoning. Okay, that will do it for that. I think I'm kind of getting into the stage where I'm just placing things randomly, so I think that's a good place to stop all that. And now then, finally, we're going to place down the zoning. So I'm going to put some commercial down here alongside this road, and then possibly a little bit of commercial where these parks are as well. Definitely need Definitely need some commercial along this little bit here too. And then in Elm Grove, I think we're only going to have commercial possibly in this little square. And then everything else is going to be residential, which we could probably do by just drawing a box, maybe. There might be some areas where I don't want there to be boxes. Or, you know, zoned. I think, no, for the most part, this is pretty spot on. Obviously, over here, we don't want any on the roundabout. We also don't want any on this road. And then we do want some here. I think for Elm Grove, yeah, that's pretty good. And then, of course, we're going to fill in the rest of this space. Down like this. But again, we don't want the road to Vale Park to be zoned. So we'll go back and undo that. Like so. And actually, we don't want this road here zoned either. Now, I do like this road. I think this was a clever idea to have it sort of duck underneath and then rise up. Where the railway goes here is going to be a bit tricksy. I think from here, to be honest, it's just going to curve around and it'll probably just follow the edge of this road here. So the buildings that get built along the main road on the left-hand side here are probably going to get removed at some point in the future. I don't know when. Right. Just got to zone all of this area now, which I think the brush is probably the best way of doing it. And again, not zoning the main road there. Now, I guess what I could do at some stage is go and dezone this road and make it so that only the roads in the actual residential area here can be zoned. That's probably a smart way of doing it, but we don't necessarily do things the smart way here at M4J. That was an unintentional rhyme, but I will take it. I'm really looking forward to seeing this place grow, though. I will show a little bit of it at the end of the episode, I think. Just a little bit of growth here and there, just so you can see that, you know, things are working, things are springing up. It'll probably be time-lapsed. But yeah, just a little bit to show what this part of the city is actually going to look like. This road here, I think I am actually going to zone. I was debating whether to do it or not, but I think actually yes, it's worth doing. I am not, though, going to do the roundabouts, because that would be stupid. Let's just do that one, and then yeah, we can start using this tool a little bit to fill some more. And to be honest, in small bursts, hello, autosave. I think that's what that was anyway. In small bursts, we can use the click and drag tool here just to fill things a little bit faster. There we go. And then down here, and then this road here like this, and this road here like this. And yeah, stuff in this area here is going to spring up. Hopefully the parks do their job and keep the land value quite high, because we are in an area of the city where land value is kind of important. But at the same time, there's a lot of things around here that will devalue the land. So got to make sure that, you know, we are making the land as valuable as possible, I think is a good way of saying it. Right, click and drag like so, and then come back and remove it from the roundabout there. And I think, yeah, that's probably that area done. We're going to zone all of this as well, of course. It's going to be really weird seeing all of this now, you know, populated as well, because for so long, this has basically just been the sticks. And Vale Park especially, it was always designed to be an inner city park. Like, it's not like, you know, we've impeded on the greenbelt or anything like that. But to actually see it now with buildings fully sprung up around it, it's going to be really, really, really bizarre. And hopefully, all of this pre-planning I've done with the roads and everything like that has been worthwhile. And we won't have huge traffic problems and, you know, roads clogged up. I know when we first built Vale Shores, there were a lot of traffic blockages. But with the addition of some traffic lights and things like that, it worked itself out pretty well. I was quite happy with the result. And traffic flow there now is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Even in rush hour, traffic flow is pretty damn good. But we've also got a good transport network in and out of Vale Park. You have to walk a little way to get to the nearest bus stop, but once you're on the bus, you can basically get to most of the main parts of the city. Over here, it's going to be a slightly different story, mind, because there's no public transport through here yet. We've got the railway station, but as of right now, no trains running. So that's something that we're going to have to work on in a couple of episodes' time. I do want to get onto the public transport again in the not too distant future, but I also want to make sure that we're building up the population, because I don't want buildings to keep getting abandoned because there's no one living in them or working in them. So I feel like that is still the priority, which is annoying because I really do want to get on with public transport. You know me, that's my shtick. That's what I do best. Build cities, yeah, I can kind of do those, but I'm not the best at it. I'll be the first to admit it. But when it comes to public transport and making that stuff kind of work, I feel like that's my forte. Right, I think for this part of the city we are done, are we not? So Elm Grove is completely done. Vermont Heights, this section's done. We do of course need to cross over to the other side over here, but once we get this side done as well, then we're cooking. I am tempted as well, so where the light rail here emerges and rises up. I'm actually tempted to keep it in a cutting. How we're going to cross the river over here, I don't yet know. But I want it to serve, you know, these areas. I want it to have a stop in Vermont Heights. I want it to have a stop at Elm Grove. The Vermont Heights one is probably going to be down near the water. And you might have seen I was experimenting with the light rail station park. Why it's a park, I don't know. I guess it's to encourage people to actually go to it. But yeah, I was experimenting with where to put that, and I might have an idea. It very much depends on how practical it is to do, because you know, I've designed this city with public transport in mind, but there are elements to it where I've not put you know, I've not future-proofed it for public transport, and I don't really want to go through and have to rip out huge parts of the city to put bus lines and tram lines in, which I've had to do in other parts too, and I didn't like doing it then, so I certainly don't want to keep having to do it if I can avoid it. So yeah, there might be some more thinking needed with all of that. Okay, this then, I would say, is complete. We've zoned it all. There's a little area around here where I'm tempted to put some offices in, or some commercial or something like that. I was also tempted to upgrade this road here for a one-way system, but the reason I haven't is because this roundabout here is perfectly good for what I want it to do, which is, you know, if you're coming out of here and you want to go that way, for example, use the roundabout, or if you want to go you know, turn around here and come in to the city this way, then you can do so. There are probably bits that could be better. I'm sure people will let me know. I am going to connect these areas up with paths in the future as well, so people will be able to walk through here, but there's only one way in or out by car. I am tempted actually to put a little road here, just so there is another way in or out, although this is the one-way system, so that should hopefully help. But yeah, otherwise I think this episode is done. Thank you very much everybody for watching. If you've got any ideas for what to put in this area down here, feel free to let me know. The parking, or the park and ride down here, is going to stay. The buses here are going to get upgraded, and in fact the rapid transit system here might actually come over here, stop at the park and ride, and then continue. So that's a possibility. The more I say that out loud, the more I like the sound of it, so we might come back to that in the future. So the park and ride side of things over here might change in the future. There might be a little bus station built here. There may even be some movement in the cable car, but otherwise the cable car is going to stay where it is. I do need to power this railway station as well. I'm going to do that in a minute before the time lapse. Hopefully the building springing up will power most of this. The water should be sustainable as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. No, wait, I've missed out a complete... Wow, let me try that one more time. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're enjoying the series so far, be sure to drop those comments down below. Any ideas for what to put in here. It doesn't have to be residential or commercial or anything like that. It could even just be, you know, a little shopping arcade, or... I don't know, anything along those lines would be good as well. Anything where I can actually explore putting in some detailing and some eye candy. I'm always willing to give that a shot. So if you've got any suggestions like that, feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you for your continued support. Enjoy the little time lapse at the end, and until next time, I will see you soon.